Hi guys. So I am back to build a little bit more on this topic of emotional awareness. And while we talk about emotional intelligence, and that's kind of like a catchy term and a phrase, I really want you to understand what that actually means, because sometimes I think that we hear these things and our brain kind of shuts off, and we don't without really quite understanding what we mean by that. So when we talk about emotional awareness, I think it is an important thing to be able to be aware of what you're currently feeling at any given moment in time, because what you're not aware of, you cannot change. And what you're not aware of, you cannot heal. And so this is not just for our children, but we want to learn these tools for ourselves so that we can begin to shift the emotional environment of our families. Because as parents, a lot of times we think that we can tell our kids what to do. Don't do this, don't yell, and somehow us telling them what to do without showing them, we think is going to be effective, which it definitely won't. I mean, some of us have to just know that, right? It's intuitively, we have to know that, but I also just am here to remind you that that is not going to be effective at all, because children do what we do, not what we say. And so it's really important that we also learn these tools and that we become emotionally intelligent and we become emotionally conscious so that we can also begin to model these things for our kids. So it's important to have the emotional awareness as being the first component, because to be able to properly say, hey, this is what I'm feeling right now. And this is a big thing that we try to teach our children is, how are they currently feeling? And this is what we have our tool for. So on our tree, on the bottom levels are sadness and anger. And those are kind of like deeply rooted in the earth, because these are a lot of the feelings that you get being earthbound, so to speak. So when you are here on this side of the world, these are emotions that we often feel, right? And these are some of the emotions that we're trying to come up from as we build the consciousness in our world. And so we can begin to feel more emotions like peace and tenderness and love and kindness and happiness and excitement and joy. And these are all emotions that we will be feeling at any given moment in time. We can dip into any of these emotions. But what we really want to focus on when we talk about shifting our emotions and becoming emotionally aware is, where are we landing? And what our goal is through our emotional intelligence tool that we develop for kids is, we want to not only have them become aware of where they are, but we also want to give them the foundation of knowledge that they are able to shift those feelings and emotions at any given moment in time. So they can feel those things, they can feel free to feel those things, but then they also might want to shift, have the ability to shift into higher feelings, better feelings, stories they can tell over their lives, so that they can begin to live a life that is by design and not by default. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that in the coming weeks, but I did just want to talk a little bit about the importance of emotional awareness and how you can actually start to build that in your home. Whenever someone is feeling something, instead of shutting down the emotions, it's always really important to acknowledge and validate. And even starting from like young toddlers, like Dreamer is turning 2 today actually. And for her, I try to, when she's feeling frustrated, or, oftentimes young kids just cry. They don't really have words to put to their emotions. And even if they're beginning to learn to be eloquent and speak, they are not necessarily able to put words to the feelings. And so that is an important connection to be able to help your child do. And you can do that from a very early on. It sounds like you're feeling frustrated right now. It sounds like you feel a little bit sad right now. Are you feeling angry? It sounds like you're angry right now. Are you feeling tender? Oh, are you feeling tender, honey? I understand that. Anybody in your situation would feel that way. And so the acknowledgement is important. And then afterwards, it's really important to also validate. So these are ways that you can begin to build the emotional awareness in your family and start to just model that for them as well in your own life. Okay, guys, we'll see you again. Bye.